Welcome everybody. Welcome for this match of the Hague Inter-University Law Debate Tournament. This is the edition this year with two new universities. We'll start the competition. The French University in Armenia, so Université Française en Arménie, who is here with the three students, and as well the University of Lusaka in Zambia, with as well with three students today. So my name is Aurélien Lorange. I'm a co-organizer, co-director of this competition with my colleague Miss Urbanova, who is here.
Good evening, everyone. Wishing best of luck to participants today.
Yes, and we'll be hosting this match for counting in the group B of this competition. So first match, the students received the topic 7 days ago. They prepared in parallel to have one of the positions, but they prepared for both positions. And first we give the floor to them to introduce themselves before going to, of course, allocation of positions and as well going directly to the match afterwards. So I would like to give the floor first to Miss Svetlana Mrkarchian, sorry.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Svetlana Mrkarchian, representing French University in Armenia. I'm happy to participate to this law debate tournament, and this is for the first time for our university, and I wish all the teams best of luck.
Thank you very much. On the side of the University of Lusaka, we have as well Mr. Sidney Mitty.
Thank you very much for according us this opportunity. My full names are Sidney Mitty from the University of Lusaka, and I'm currently in my final year pursuing a degree in Bachelor of Laws. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we have as well on the side of the university in Armenia, the French University in Armenia, Miss Tatevic Karadian.
Hi everyone, I also represent French University in Armenia and I'm a fourth year student of law. I wish everyone a good game, a good battle, and I wish that we all have just a good time doing this rebuttal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now back to the University of Lusaka, we have as well Mr. Igor Kapambwe.
Hello, my name is Igor Kapambwe, pursuing my Bachelor of Laws degree, and I'm in my third year. I look forward to unraveling all of the research that we've made and hearing from the other side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have as well, on the side of the French University in Armenia, Miss Louisa Melkoumian.
Hello everyone, I'm Louisa Melkoumian, a fourth-year law student from French University in Armenia. I'm extremely happy about this opportunity and I believe that this will be a great experience for all of us. That's all, thank you very much.
Thank you. And the last member of the team on the side of the University of Lusaka, Miss Tanya Radzwa Mapanga.
Hello everyone, my name is Tanya Radzwa Mapanga. Very excited to be here. I'm a first year student studying my Bachelor of Laws and I'm very excited to be accorded this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have as well the presence of the coach. I've seen the coach, two of them I think on the side of the University of Armenia, and one that I've seen the name who is behind the camera on the side of Lusaka. So could I ask maybe Miss Paradzam Mikhail Elian to introduce herself as well as a coach?
Sure, thank you very much. My short name is Kari. I work at the Office of the Representative of Armenia on International Legal Matters. And I myself have graduated from the French University of Armenia, so it's an honor to co-coach this team, and I wish best of luck to all the teams. We enjoy the preparations a lot, so we'll see how it will happen today. Look forward.
Thank you very much. We have as well on the same side as well Miss Arpin Arakelian.
Hello everyone, thank you very much. I am working at the French University in Armenia as an associate lecturer. I'm very happy for this opportunity, and I wish good luck to all of the teams participating in this debate.
Thank you. Thank you very much. On the side of the University of Lusaka, so Professor Teresa Lumbama Caputo, if you can get in the behind maybe the students.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
My name is Teresa Lumbama Caputo. I'm a lecturer in the University of Lusaka, and I'm very glad that my students are going to be able to participate in this competition for the first time, and I'm looking forward to the experience for them and myself.
Thank you very much. Yes. So now it is time, of course, to get to know more on what you have prepared and what you will be debating on. You received a topic 7 days ago. This topic was coastal countries have an obligation to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and prevent further harm to the ocean and its wildlife. So you got 7 days to prepare this topic, and now we'll simply do the allocation of position. So I will share my screen. Up, I bring first the randomizer, the system, and now I will share. Up, you will see on your screen what I see, and as well on YouTube, as you already see. So normally you should see a wheel with the name of your universities and as well the flags. So what will happen is that, of course, as you can see, there are 2 chances for each university. 1 chance to get in favor and 1 chance to get against for the French University of Armenia and for the University of Lusaka. So we click in the center and we'll know which position each university will get based on this result. So in that case, it would be the French University in Armenia, Université Française en Arménie, will be against the statement, and as a consequence, that will be the University of Lusaka would be in favor of this statement. So concretely, the University of Lusaka will be starting the debate in defending the position that coastal countries have an obligation to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and prevent further harm to the ocean and its wildlife, while on the side of the French University in Armenia, they will be defending that coastal countries do not have an obligation to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and prevent further harm to the ocean and its wildlife. So now we'll start the countdown for 5 minutes. My colleague is sharing her screen. So during 5 minutes you can close your camera, you can review your notes, and of course we'll see you in 5 minutes for the start.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. The preparation period now is concluded. We will soon be starting with your submissions. Just a short reminder, when you have 30 seconds remaining of your speaking time, you will see me raise a yellow card. When your speaking time is up, you will see me raise a red card. You will then have the time to conclude your sentence still. And on that note, University of Lusaka, you now have 4 minutes for your opening statement in favor of the current debate statement.
At the University of Lusaka, can you hear us? Ah, they disconnected at this moment, what I see. They're back. They're coming back now. Yes, dear member of the University of Lusaka, can you hear us?
Can you kindly confirm if I'm audible enough?
At this moment, we can hear you. Could you open as well your camera, please?
Pardon the inconveniences, we are experiencing a bit of some technical challenges due to bad weather. I hope you could get us clearly and see me quite visibly.
Yes.
You are now visible and audible.
Thank you very much. Now, as a proposed delegation, we understand that and recognize that international law places various obligations, duties, and rights to the international community with regards to protecting the environment as well as sustaining human life. Now, with this recognition, customary international law, and to be specific, key principles of customary international law, such as the no harm rule, which is espoused in the Rio Declaration, Principle 2, as well as the polluter pays principle, which you'll be able to find in various treaties and it has been codified, places obligations on states to ensure that activities within their jurisdiction do not cause harm, as well as do not cause damage to the environment, exceeding areas within their own jurisdiction. On top of that, it also places and emphasizes that the polluter principle places an obligation and emphasizes that, well, the polluter rather than the society at large must be able to pay for the damages and the cost of the environmental damage that they've caused to the environment, particularly in this instance, the marine environment. Now, due to these key international principles, coastal states have an obligation to ensure that they clean up the Great Pacific garbage, taking into consideration the significant contribution that they have in this Great Pacific garbage patch, as well as the various interests that arise when we are talking about balancing the individual interests of states regarding human development as well as environmental sustainability. Now, speaking of the Great Pacific patch, ladies and gentlemen, this is the largest offshore plastic accumulation zone located between Hawaii and California and spans across an area size of 1.6 square kilometers with a mass average of with a garbage mass average of about 80,000 tons to 100,000 tons. The reasons as to why we are proposing to this delegation are premised on the following stance. Number one, coastal states through industrialized commercial activities such as fishing, tourism, and seabed mining operations significantly contributes to garbage in the Great Pacific patch. As you can note, the location of this Great Pacific garbage is somewhere in the North Pacific, in between Hawaii and California. Most of the coastal states that surround this area, such as USA, China, and Japan, as well as Taiwan and Canada, significantly contribute to the waste that is polluting the marine environment. Secondly, our stance as to why we oppose to this motion is as follows. Coastal states largely depend on the marine environment for the human development and economic development, and as such, they've got the agent need and the agent responsibility to ensure that the marine environment that they largely depend on is sustained and is protected to ensure that their human development is in check, as well as the marine environment which they largely depend on to satisfy their economic development is also sustained. Lastly, as a point in terms of what we stand on as a proposition, by virtue of key principles such as the precautionary principle espoused in Article 15 of the Rio Declaration, coastal states have an obligation to ensure that domestic laws and regulations ensure that, yes, they promote and protect efficient waste management systems so as to employ cost-effective measures for preventing the damage to the environment. Now, you will be able to note that according to a research that was conducted by Ocean Cleanup, as well as the discoveries that were made by Charles Moore, 75 to 86% of this Great Pacific garbage comprises of plastics and fishing nets, as well as ropes, inclusive of other microplastics that you'll be able to find beneath. Now, because of the coastal activities such as the rampant fishing that these coastal activities, coastal states take part in, you will be able to find that they are rampantly causing damage to the environment, and you'll also be able to note that through some of the tourism activities, as well as they'll be able to cause pollution largely due to the marine degradation. I thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission. Debate team from the French University of Armenia, you now have 4 minutes for your opening statement in the position against.
Should I start?
Yes, you can.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we begin the debate on the topic of Great Pacific Garbage Patch, let us all acknowledge that the Earth is what we all have in common, and that we must take collective responsibility to protect our planet and its ecosystems. One of the biggest threats to our planet right now is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which consists of 79,000 metric tons of ocean plastic. We believe that the patch is a global issue, that it requires a collective effort to find solution and international cooperation to solve it. This is also the approach established by international environmental law, as we explain in 2 points. First, we would like to bring to your attention the Article 192 of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, which stipulates that states have obligation to protect and preserve marine environment. It is important to note that the Convention does not distinguish between coastal and landlocked countries in terms of this obligation, meaning that all nations, including the coastal countries, shall have shared responsibility to address plastic pollution in the ocean. Furthermore, the UN established the Global Program of Action for the Protection of the Marine Environment from Land-Based Activities, which emphasized the need for international cooperation and knowledge sharing to address marine pollution. Second, the world has witnessed several successful instances of multinational cooperation that effectively address global issues. Examples include the Montreal Protocol, the Global Partnership on Plastic Pollution and Marine Litter, the International Maritime Organization, etc. These examples illustrate the large-scale cooperation is crucial in addressing the challenges such as the patch. There are several reasons why we must recognize the Great Pacific Garbage Patch as a global issue to act collectively. First, the patch is located too far from any country's coastline, and the accumulation zones are beyond national territories. But at the same time, it has been caused by mismanagement on a global scale of production and disposal of plastic and the other types of waste. Second, the patch poses a threat to a global trade routes and the world economy, not just regional. Third, the plastic waste in the patch enters the food chain, potentially affecting the health of everyone worldwide. And fourth and finally, international cooperation is not only fair in line and in line with international law, but it is also necessary for more effective and cost-efficient solution. Charles Moore, for instance, who discovered the patch, acknowledged that that cleaning up the patch would bankrupt any country. To avoid burdening any country's economy, the cost of the cleanup should be shared among multiple countries. In conclusion, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a global problem that requires a collective effort to solve. And international cooperation is necessary to address this issue, as it has been with other successful global initiatives. We cannot afford delay in action any longer. We must approach the problem with open mind and willingness towards collaborative and coordinated international effort to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your submissions. Now we are proceeding into the rebuttal stage of the arguments. University of Lusaka, you now have 2 minutes for your first rebuttal.
Okay, thank you. It is important to note that we concede to the fact that this issue is a global issue, but also important to note that before it is a global issue, it is an issue that is firstly affecting mostly these coastal countries that are in question. And also, that Pacific patch is as a result of mismanagement of waste resources, waste management, and you note that the greatest contributors are the said coastal countries. Therefore, we concede that this is a global issue, but it is more of a coastal country issue before it becomes a global issue. Furthermore, we also would love to bring to the thoughts of the judges that we are acknowledging the sovereignty of these coastal countries. We are acknowledging the benefits that these coastal countries get from the said oceans, and some of these activities include fishing, tourism, as earlier alluded to, and so we are of the view that these coastal countries have an obligation to take care of the garbage that is piling up in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch because of some of the fundamental principles that are governing the management of the environment. One of them is the polluter pays principle, as earlier stated in our opening statement. And also, this is a sign that the piling up of the said Great Pacific Garbage Patch is as a result of the failure of the policies and laws that have been put in place in terms of waste management for these coastal countries to be some of the greatest contributors to this garbage patch. Therefore, it is the obligation of these coastal countries to take care of the waste that is in this patch. Sustainable development is what we are looking towards, and that is why these countries have to come to the stand and take care of the patch.
Very much. French University of Armenia, you now have 2 minutes for your first rebuttal.
Sure. I would like to emphasize the fact that the opposite theme does not really recognize that there are two types of pollution, direct and indirect. And as much as I would like to agree that the coastal states are the only one responsible, that is simply not true, because there is also the indirect pollution which involves also the landlocked countries. For instance, every landlocked country also uses the maritime trade routes that are in the Pacific Ocean, and other than that, the rivers also carry plastic waste that also ocean currents transfer to Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And I would like to also emphasize that about the polluter payer principle, that it is virtually impossible right now to differentiate which countries are the more responsible ones for the pollution in Great Pacific Garbage Patch, because ocean currents transfer plastic from one part of the patch to the other, and it goes on and on and on to the point where it's impossible to understand whether is it Japan that's mostly the one responsible or not. And also, I would like to talk about a decision by the International Court of Justice which rendered its first decision on environmental damage in the case Costa Rica versus Nicaragua. It is a significant court. What is significant is the court recognized ecosystem services as part of compensable damage to the environment, including both direct and indirect services. The court states that the damage to the environment and the consequent impairment of or the loss of the ability of the environment to provide goods and services is compensable by the international law. So the environment is a shared responsibility. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your submission. University of Lusaka, you now have 2 minutes for your second rebuttal.
Okay, so we understand that landlocked countries also contribute to marine pollution via the rivers and the lakes. However, our argument is that when it comes to the largest contributors to this marine pollution, you'll be able to note that fishing activities are the largest contributors to this marine pollution, followed by oil rigs as well as seabed mining operations. Now you'll be able to note that most of the states that participate in these rampant fishing activities, as well as these mining seabed operations, you'll be able to note that it's the coastal states themselves. And the earlier speaker alluded to the fact that you will not be able to pinpoint who exactly is able to, or rather who exactly is contributing to this garbage patch. However, and a research that was conducted by Ocean Cleanup shows that from the samples that are taken from the dense areas of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, you'll be able to note that 5 coastal states have been able to pop up in terms of the plastics or the resources, or rather the garbage that was found in these patches. The states, as earlier alluded to, is USA and China, Taiwan. These are big industrialized and commercialized states who take part in these fishing activities as well as in these mining operations significantly. That's why we're saying that they have an obligation to ensure that the cleanup, hence the application of the polluter pays principle, which states that, well, those who are polluting the environment must be able to pay for that to be able to clean up. And we're not saying that only coastal states, we're not saying that it's just a few coastal states that are supposed to pay. Collectively as individuals, or collectively as individual states, these coastal states must be able to pay and ensure that they do not promote rampant pollution to the environment. Secondly, my final point hinged on the fact that laws and regulations must be able, especially in the territories and jurisdictions of these states, and especially coastal states, they must be able to ensure that they have got effective waste management systems that are able to clear this garbage, even before it actually gets to the ocean. For instance, thank you very much. For instance, the garbage which is going to be found within, or rather the garbage which is going to be segregated within that jurisdiction. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Debating from the French University of Armenia, you have 2 minutes for your second rebuttal.
Thank you very much. So, respectfully, I disagree with the opposing team's position because it lacks statistical data, and no statistical data was provided why there are those 5 countries that pollute the most. So, and secondly, I would like to mention that there are 6 main sources, and there is not only fishing that causes fishing activity that causes the Great Pacific garbage patch. Moreover, it is impossible to determine the polluter. So even though there are some statistics made by some huge organizations, international organizations, that is not enough sufficient for claiming that this is only for the coastal countries, and the pollution is made only via the activities of the coastal countries. And moreover, I would like to emphasize that the opposing team also admits the fact that this is the responsibility of all the states, not only the coastal states, and there is no specific mention about why should only coastal countries carry the responsibility for all the garbage patch cleanup process. And also I would like to mention that it is hardly impossible for some countries to clean up the whole patch, even though there are mostly highly developed countries of the world. And as my colleagues have already mentioned, I would admit that if it was common responsibility, it would be easier to resolve this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Proceeding to the conclusions. Debating from the University of Lusaka, you have 2 minutes.
All right, now we believe that the common misconception within this debate was that the opposition delegation assumed that we were saying that this responsibility is existing because coastal countries are the ones that are contributing to this Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And we conceded at the very beginning that we agree that there are many states that are contributing to this, but this issue is affecting firsthand our coastal countries. And we also concede to the fact that there are already existing treaties that have been set in place, guidelines that have been set in place to try and get the whole world to come together internationally to contribute towards curbing this problem, but they have failed. And therefore, because coastal countries are the ones that are directly affected by the impacts of this, what do we mean by impacts? The dying of fish that is happening. We believe that even the pollution that is happening in the water, poisoning that is happening in the water, is affecting them directly. And therefore, we believe that they should go then a step further. The obligation lies with them because they have the greatest urgency to deal with this matter. And therefore, all other provisions can exist that mandate all other states, but we believe that coastal states should come together and have that obligation to deal with this problem because it's affecting them the most. So what did we bring to you as a proposition delegation today? We were able to show you the no harm principle that mandates these coastal states from the get-go to be able to clean up this problem. And they are cleaning up why? Because most of the coastal states that are near this Great Pacific Garbage Patch are major producers and major industrialist countries which are polluting through plastic, etc. We also showed you the polluter principle, which shows that once you have polluted, you need to go a step further to clear. And therefore, we closed this debate by letting you know that this clearing, or rather cleaning up this Pacific patch, is not just a mandate on them as a punishment, but to also make sure that their livelihoods remain the same. They are not affected by poisoning. Their industries such as fishing and tourism don't go to waste, and they continue to be self-sufficient as coastal states. And it is therefore with this reason that we've never been more proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you for your submission. French University of Armenia, you now have 2 minutes for your conclusion.
Okay, thank you very much. After carefully listening to the opposing team's arguments, respectively, we disagree with their position as it lacks a strong evidence and reasoning. I want to mention that we understand that the coastal countries are mainly affected ones, but the economies are connected. So the degradation of one will inevitably cause the degradation of the other one. And so, summing up the arguments and rebuttals of our team, we would like to reiterate our position that cleaning up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a massive and very expensive undertaking that would require significant resources and coordination among different countries and entities. The patch is made up of plastic debris that has been carried by ocean currents, and it comes from a variety of sources from around the world. Addressing plastic pollution in the ocean requires global effort, and all the countries, regardless of their location, have a responsibility to take action. While clustered countries may have a more direct connection to the issue, the problem of the plastic pollution is a global one, and it requires cooperation and collaboration among all nations. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your submissions. Well done to both teams. I'll be now passing floor to my colleague who will co-host the second part, the last part of today's session, on which you are no longer graded, and that is a feedback. How did you find the topic? How did it perhaps relate to your studies and the preparation for the format of the competition? So,
yeah.
Well done again.
Thank you again. Yes, from now you are not anymore under evaluation, so of course you can relax. It means we'll just have a simple short discussion to get your feedback and your impression. For each of you, it was the first time you were debating officially in the competition. So I would like to ask Miss Svetlana Merkachian. What are your impressions?
Thank you. As long as it was the first time, we were a little bit excited, but I think that both of the teams were good and did their best. So I'm impressed, and I look forward to the next debates. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In Lusaka, Mr. Miti, Sine Miti, you are the first one to speak. Could you tell us what were your impressions on your team, on the other team, on the topic, your preparation maybe?
Thank you very much once more. So in terms of the experience, it was amazing and thought-provoking. I think we had very interesting discussions on both the proposition and opposition sides. This being our first attempt at this event, I think it gives us confidence and it has helped us in terms of our networking, in terms of getting to be out there and being able to discuss relevant things concerning the environment. So thank you very much once again, and I think I had the best experience.
Thank you very much. On the side of the French University of Armenia, Ms. Tatevic Garadzian, what were your impressions?
Thank you. Well, it was my first experience doing debates at all, so I was quite nervous, as you could see, but I think we did a good job, all of us, and I enjoyed our debates, our conversations, and talking about the topic. It was quite an interesting one because we always talk about global issues like that, but never really do research on the theme. And this was an opportunity to understand how does the pollution impact our planet and what are the solutions proposed by international law. So I enjoyed it very much, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward for debates and continuing my education in this specific area of law.
Thank you very much. Then now, as well, on the side of the University of Lusaka, Mr. Igor Kapambwe.
Okay. Firstly, I must say that at first it felt very nerve-wracking to have to sit and prepare and look into all of these things that seemed very complex, and it seemed like a very complex topic, you know. At first instance, it was like, oh, this is simple. I mean, we're just talking about the environment. But then when you start researching, you find out that it's actually a complex topic that requires you to think a lot for you to be able to come up with a comprehensive argument. And also, I must make mention that I'm currently doing environmental law in my semester now. So it was interesting to actually dig deeper than what we've been given in class. I got to find out even more than my fellows are doing in class. So it was a lot like preparing for my exams. So yeah, it's an exciting experience. I'm looking forward to more of these kind of debates.
Thank you very much. On the side of the French University in Armenia, so Miss Louisa Melkoumian, so what did you think about the match?
Okay, it was quite challenging, but very interesting. I'm very thankful I joined it. This is a great opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. And as well, the last member of the team from Lusaka, Tanya Ranzwa Maponga.
For me, it was a really inciting experience. It was very thought-provoking, eye-opening. I'm never really invested in environmental topics, so this is something that excited me, and I think I'm glad to say I'll be delving deeper into topics like this. And being a first-year student, it's such a great opportunity to be in a conversation at this great level, you know, internationally. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And a few words very quickly, maybe from the two, I think there are three coach indeed. So Miss Paranzem Michaelian, sorry. So if you can tell us what were your impressions.
Well, it was interesting to observe this debate, and the topic was challenging for us as well, because, you know, Armenia is a landlocked country and we don't really have the chance to study sea law or, these marine aspects of environmental law. So it was yet another chance for Armenians to get acquainted with these global challenges. And the debate itself was very enjoyable. Good job to all the participants.
Thank you very much. And I will ask as well on the same side, Miss Sarpin Arakelian.
Thank you. I really enjoyed both the process of preparation of this debate and the process of this live debate among the teams. We all study environmental law in universities, but this kind of specific topics and issues are very interesting to explore during this kind of events, moot courts, debates, and I really enjoyed the process. My congratulations to all the teams. I wish you good luck during the process of your debates.
Thank you very much. And on the side of the University of Lusaka, so Professor Teresa Lumbaba Caputo, if you can join as well your team.
Thank you once again. First, I want to say that I'm very proud of all the students and mine especially because they really did the work by themselves, and I was just here for moral support, quite frankly. So I really do applaud their effort. And to the students in Armenia, you know, I think we're suffering the same experience being a landlocked country. And so doing this is a new experience outside our comfort zone. And I wish you the best of luck. You guys are really good. It was a great debate. And I look forward to us meeting again, hopefully in further down the competition or in other circumstances. So thank you again for the opportunity and looking forward to the rest of the competition.
Thank you very much. So this closes actually this session. So I would like to thank everybody. I would like to thank as well my colleague, Ms. Urbanova, for hosting the match. And what will happen from now is that within 2-3 days you will receive an email with the result, with as well the feedback from each of the 3 judges for your team. And as well, in 2 weeks from now, you will have another match in the group B. So you are with as well the University of South Pacific and as well with the University of, yesterday there was a match, University of Lagos, yes, of course. So in 2 weeks, you will have a match against one of them, and in 2 weeks after, a match against the last one. So, yes, many thanks again, and wish you the best. Next week, you get an email with your next topic, obviously, for the following match. Thank you again. Thank you in Armenia. Thank you in Zambia as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.